What's going on, guys? It's Cynthia here talking nutrition to you. All right, so we're going to talk about calories and weight loss today. I've done this talk several times on my social media channels. This time I'm going to do it and I'm going to record it and I'm going to upload it to my YouTube channel so I can refer back to it when I get asked these questions, because I get these same questions a lot over and over again and the answer still remains the same. So when it comes to weight loss, guys, it's always calories in versus calories out. You have to be in a calorie deficit to lose weight. There's no other way about it, okay? Do people process food different person to person? Yes. Do people have higher metabolisms person to person? Yes, but it's always calories in versus calories out, okay? So I'll get, and I'm going to refer to this scenario because this is mostly the most common question or issue that I get approached with from women. And it's, they'll come to me and they'll tell me, you know, I'm eating 1,200 calories a day and I'm doing an hour of exercise and this, and I am continuing to gain weight. So my first question always is, are you tracking your food? And the answer is typically no, okay? So they're doing their best guesstimate on the amount of calories they're eating, which is mistake number one. If you want to lose weight, you have to track your food. We'll go over that in a minute. The other is those that are tracking their food do very well at tracking their food Monday through Friday, let's say 3 p.m. Then it comes going out to dinner with friends, having some wine, wake up Saturday, go to the pool, have a couple drinks at the pool, snacks at the pool, snacking on the kids' stuff here and there. We have a big lunch, we go out for dinner, then we have Sunday brunch, and we have all this stuff that we get too busy to track on the weekend. And what happens is the abundance of calories on the weekend, when you average it out with the low calories throughout the week, still puts you in a calorie surplus. Therefore, you continue to gain weight or not lose weight. Maybe you're plateaued in maintaining. So that's where you have to track your food. You have to know what your intake is so that you know what you need to burn off to lose weight or be in a deficit. And I get the complaint a lot, like, I don't have time to track, or it takes so much time, and I'm straight gonna call BS on that. Almost every single person I know spends at least, and this is being super generous, 5 minutes scrolling through Facebook or Instagram every day, okay? Or doing some kind of online shopping. So if you have 5 minutes to do that, you have the 2 minutes it takes to record your entire day of food. Okay, so it's an excuse that you have for not tracking your food. If it means something to you and you're serious about your weight loss, you'll put in the work to do it. And part of the work is tracking your food. You have to know what your intake is. You have to be accountable for that. The other part of that is you have to track 100%. You can't pick and choose the things that you want to record. You can't put your meal in and then say you had half of your kid's piece of pizza or 2 of the chicken nuggets off your kid's plate or whatever it may be. It all has to be recorded. It's all calories in, okay? And typically what I see, and why it's even more important, is women that eat these low calorie amounts throughout the week. So you're dropping your metabolic capacity. You're lowering your metabolism by eating this low amount day in, day out. You're diet cycling, basically. And so every time you do that, we're dropping our metabolism. So when you drop your metabolism, you have fat cells, they shrink, okay? Which is a good thing. We want them to shrink. But the bad thing is, because we shrink those fat cells through the week because we've activated our body's self-defense system, and that's one of the properties of it, is to preserve energy. When we have a calorie surplus, your body is going to take that energy, the food, the excess energy, and it's going to store it. And those fat cells are going to expand because, again, we've activated the self-defense system, and your body's going to hold on to it, because if you put it in those, in that position again, of activating the self-defense system and making it feel like food is scarce, then it's got, you know, it's like the chipmunk that stores the nuts in the cheeks. That's what you have, is your excess food for your body to use when you put it back in that situation again. So that's why I talk to you guys all the time about finding something that is consistent, that's maintainable, that's sustainable, and that is a lifestyle. Every time you diet cycle, there's research out now that correlates it. The more times you diet cycle, the more likely you are to be overweight or obese later in life, because of you keep activating the self-defense system, and I'm not going to get into all of that today on that. So, does it take longer to do it the right way? Absolutely. But once you do it once, you're set for a lifetime. So if you're tired of cycling in and out of diets, or, you know, I lose 5 pounds to go on vacation, but then I come back from vacation and I gain 7. So I go back into this diet cycle and try and lose that 7, and then it turns to 10, and then that 10 turns to 12, and you keep going in this horrendous cycle. And if you're ready to stop doing that, then let's do it the right way, okay? Doing it the right way is building up your metabolic capacity, finding as much food as you can eat without putting on more weight and gaining weight. You might put on a little bit, but nothing big. But you want to build up that metabolic capacity. You want to heal your hormones. You want to heal your gut. You want to feel good again. You want to have good energy, good skin. You want to bring your libido back. I mean, there's nothing negative to increasing your calories with good whole foods. And so you want to build that up so that you have volume to mess with when you do drop your calories, and you don't sacrifice your metabolism or your hormones or anything else in the process of doing it, and you drop weight in a healthy way. And that's what I teach my clients. And it takes longer. It typically takes, I don't know, 16, 20 weeks for them to get it down, for us to build up the metabolism, but we do it slow, we do it right. Typically my clients, as we're increasing calories, are dropping weight, which is a sign that their body is responding very well to the system. And then we build up their metabolic capacity, and then we drop calories, and then they really start to drop weight. But they see different composition changes and the way they feel, and we work on gut health, and all of that is part of it, of building a sustainable, healthy lifestyle. And I've kind of trailed off here a little bit, but more than anything, I just want you to understand that it's always calories in versus calories out. You have to track 100%. You have to be honest with yourself about the intake of food you're having, okay? Then you have to slowly work on building up your metabolic capacity if you're eating those super low calories throughout the week, and stop the diet cycling. Just stop cycling through diet after diet. Quit doing the latest fad thing that you hear. Quit following something because it worked for somebody else on Instagram, some kind of random crazy diet, and like, oh, I'm gonna do that too, type of stuff. That kind of stuff drives me crazy, because just because it worked for them doesn't mean that it worked for you. And I'm talking specifically like to all these crazy, like, I don't even want to use the health coaches that are out there that are selling you a product that had success. And that's great if they had success on it. I'm not knocking that by any means. But just because that worked for them doesn't mean that it's going to work for you. And it still comes down to the same. If they lost weight, it was a calories in, calories out type of thing. And it was just the program that they chose to follow for food intake or whatever it may be to get them to that point. But don't, there's no crazy magic pills. Fasting is not the way to fat loss. If it helps you restrict your calories and keeps them into a certain time period, that's great. But fasting in and of itself does not create fat loss. That's crazy. It's calories in versus calories out. The keto diet does not create fat loss. It's always calories in versus calories out, okay? And I've said this 100 times. I don't care what nutrition plan you do. That's not what I teach. I teach you how to learn the quality of the food no matter what plan you follow, okay? So if you're following the keto, if you're paleo, if you're vegan, if you're vegetarian, if you're carnivore, if you're omnivore, or whatever else, pescatarian, don't care what it is. That doesn't matter. It's always the quality of food, and calories in versus calories out when you're hitting that weight loss. But just don't let people sell you that, it's this magic plan. There is no magic plan. Typically when people see weight loss or results, when they pick up a new plan, whether maybe it's keto or fasting or whatever it may be, The result of that is typically they're making better food choices and they're monitoring their intake. So it's not the keto diet that actually worked for them. It's cleaning up food choices, making better choices, being more aware of what they're doing. Maybe they increase their activity and calories in versus calories out. So I hope this is helpful. I hope if you know that you utilize this. If you're looking to lose weight, track your food. You need to know what your maintenance calories currently are so that you know where you need to be at a deficit, and a healthy deficit, without doing any more damage or making things worse. So it's a process and it takes time, but anything worth doing is doing right. So, all right, guys, see you on the next one.